Jor Nolt says, "When?" Huck seethes, speaking through his teeth. "Soon." Sorry, I forgot to speak that through my teeth. "Soon." And tries to use the Force to move it. It doesn't budge. His face grows red from trying. Kylo holds Vader's mask out over the edge. Okay, it doesn't specify he makes that sound, but I want to believe. With a look that could be perceived as love, Ben Solo dies. Allow me to look at this whole screenplay with a look that could be perceived as disappointment. Is this death? Obi-Wan. "In this place there is no such thing as death. I can see your true self is free of suffering, free of pain." Taught us much you have. I'm sorry, should I promise never to do that again? I've taught you. You chose to embrace the dark side and the light, to find balance within. Coexisting. My Yoda is very bad. So that sounds like a pretty boring little scene, right? Well, no. Actually, it went on for 12 minutes.
Guido, come on! Guido, stop! Guido, heading to fast water! Turn this way! Guido! No, turn around! Guido, no!
Honestly, if you removed the aliens from the story, it wouldn't change, which is a very weird quality for a story about aliens to have. At one point in my notes, I just wrote, "This is pretty boring." So, well, let's throw this guy out of the Great Valley. Why are we keeping him around? Anytime there's a conflict, it certainly seems like Daddy Tops is at the heart of it. Anyway, this film is Daddy Tops-centric enough to give him a rock and roll number, so that was kind of fun.
There is no fair when it comes to survival.
You would have velociraptors, T-Rexes, a crocodile, a shark. This one's a bit of a twist because you have these bipedal dinosaurs and they just want to eat eggs. The leader has this bizarrely dignified voice. It's like a Kelsey Grammer vibe.
No brother of mine is going to eat vegetation. Not while I'm around.
And then he has this instantly iconic, horrible song that's just about how badly he wants to eat eggs.
When I wake up, first thing I do, eggs, is to look around for something to chew. Exactly.
I love an egg for breakfast, and now whenever I want an egg, I can't help but say it in the salacious way that he does. Eggs.
Eggs. Eggs. Eggs.
Most of the other collectors at this time were in their 20s and 30s, so I thought of them as old and mom-aged, depressing. But we're 4chan, the most cynical bad boys on the internet. We should be posting about racism or anime, but instead we're fans of ponies? How novel! How intriguing! Part 4. So, is it a weird sex thing? Why, yes. I'm just kidding. Kind of. And I speculate that maybe, in a broad general sense, men are not socialized to recognize uncomplicated, unsexual fondness for a female character. So they liked the ponies for a little while, and then their brains started going, but can I have sex with it? All the nightmarish characteristics of a real horse have been totally scrubbed clean. The hard, skull-crushing hooves have been replaced with these squishy stumps that pick things up like hands. The long, protruding snouts have been smooshed down to look more like a cat head. It's like when I see furries that think this is attractive, I don't think they're attracted to real wolves. I even had an impersonator at one convention. Most people didn't know what I looked like because I did voiceover.
We know that I do the voicing, right? Yes, I know. I do the voices for Friendship is Witchcraft. My name is Ellie Mint, and I do the voices for Friendship is Witchcraft.
So she like showed up and was on panels and stuff, and then I had to tweet like, hey, that's not me, I'm not at this convention, and then she fled into the night, a mystery to this day. It would be so surreal to be at what superficially looks like any rock concert until you look to your left and somebody has sent their 3-foot Pinkie Pie plush crowd surfing past you.
And Generation 2, I do not mean to grouse and gripe, but these characters fell right into the girly stereotypes.
What do they mean, girly stereotypes? I mean, for all the things you could say about My Little Ponytails, I don't think that's one of them. One of them is an environmentalist, one is a roller skater, one wants to be a teacher, one wants to be A circus clown? I didn't know these were the girly stereotypes.
Into the volcano, little pony!
You sick freak. My horny drawing of Twilight Sparkle is presented upon this long pillow with complete neutrality. Maybe the Propaganda Brony documentary was on the right track, because now that the Brony fandom is dead, we'll probably do what people always do with dead things. Remember the good stuff, and not examine it critically at all, and be happy about it, confident that it will never return. Never, ever. Just a fleeting thought, like, I wonder what's the biggest spider I could get. The Ferrari of plush spiders. Toys R Us is coming back, but now it's going to be a streamlined warehouse where you order the toys off screens and get them shipped to your house. As if digital catalogs are a good way to market to a demographic that doesn't understand delayed gratification or object permanence. I also had to pack other essentials, like some great reading about Arizona, extra camera batteries and memory cards, my wallet with all my ID and credit cards, and finally, the spider had to be paid for in cash, and I was worried about carrying that much money around on a road trip. So I cleverly disguised the envelope so no one would open it and hid it somewhere that no one would ever look. Step 3, make a themed playlist of songs about spiders. Yes! It's called My Spider! What I was expecting. It's right next to the Grand Canyon. We literally went here instead of the Grand Canyon. I mean, I've been there before. I think it's better than the Grand Canyon. That's my hot take. Put that quote on the website. I'll take the snake tunnel and the big Fred Flintstone billboard any day. Yabba dabba doo means welcome to you. It's beautiful. Oh, also, you better believe I slid down the big iconic Brontosaurus slide. Oh my god!
Yabba dabba do it.
Yabba dabba doo!
Yes.
Yes! Yes! He's really happy.
Oh my god, yes, that's what I wanted.
It's working! I'm gonna pull him through from the other side.
Oh my god!
Look at him! Look at this!
Oh my goodness!
I do this, I love it. I watch lots of YouTube videos and all this stuff. How many employees are there?
Yeah!
Well, looky here.
Cheers! Should I really drink it? I love that whoever edited it was like, yeah, I'll leave that in.
It's quite easy because I love tequila, so I tend to have a lot of empty tequila bottles around the house. But you can use whatever you want. If you're a bourbon drinker, if you're a scotch drinker, whatever. I'm a wine drinker. Yep. Wine bottles. Wine bottles I may be a little careful with.
For this craft, you can use any bottle you like. I like wine bottles. No, Nicole, not wine bottles.
Smells better than tequila. Wow.
Nicole! Okay, for the record, I am not the only one picking up on this vibe. Look at the comment. Lauren is a natural. Her pose and demeanor is great for TV, but they sounded like they were in a competition. Nice video, but they don't seem to mesh though. LOL.
Lauren just likes tequila because it's low carb.
Oh my god, Nicole! No! Put water in the wine bottle and put lights made for wine bottles in the wine bottle. They don't even link the product, probably because she got it on Amazon and Hallmark doesn't sell it.
A major online site.
Today I'm here with my friend Alyssa, who is a fantastic car designer here at Hallmark.
What?
I'm here with my friend Alyssa.
My friend Alyssa.
My friend Alyssa.
Alyssa wasn't your friend either, Nicole. This is like Game of Thrones. All this time, Nicole thought Lauren was her enemy, but all along 'twas Thea, hiding in plain sight, aided by the duplicitous Alyssa. Look at them, celebrating their treason. A toast to Queen Thea! Long may she reign! I love this part where Alyssa has made this hot cocoa bar and shows off like chocolate covered spoons and a plate of marshmallows, and Thea prompts her in this very fake way like, wow, this looks like it cost you a fortune.
And this looks like it would cost you a fortune to make these. Was it expensive?
And like, no, it doesn't. It looks like it cost a few dollars and some time and effort.
Not at all. So basically it's stuff I had at home and then maybe an extra $30.
But then Alyssa is like, No, it's actually just stuff I had around my house. And then also I spent $30. It's like, Jesus Christ, $30 for hot chocolate is actually really expensive. It turns out with Vampire Diaries, it doesn't matter if you're delirious, you're still going to have a consistent viewing experience. I just want to give like a flyover view of the experience. It's like a travel log, but a show. The good, the stupid, just those two things.
You don't get it. I can't stop, Elena. I'm a Ripper. A Ripper doesn't stop. And when that clock ticks down, I'm going to have to feed on you.
In later seasons, he actually starts to go way too far with it. Like some of his line reads are just straight up cuckoo.
It doesn't sound crazy. It is crazy.
Stop defending me!
The guy's a werewolf. He killed me the first chance he got.
If you were a racer, you'd know what I'm talking about, but you're not.
I predict this year is going to be kick-ass. And I predict all the sad and dark times are over and you are going to be beyond happy.
No! Jenna!
Please don't leave me. I don't want to be. I can't. I'm so sick of crying. No, I can't. I can't. No!
In the first season, Damon has this ability to make Halloween fog machines start blowing all over the place, and a spooky crow appears to herald his arrival.
Crow's a bit much, don't you think?
Wait till you see what I can do with the fog.
This is never explained, ends a few episodes in, and never returns. The spooky crow is all over the pilot. I miss that guy. I guess they didn't renew his contract between seasons. Maybe he had a falling out with a castmate. But my favorite quality about Vervain is that if you trick a vampire into drinking it, they'll do a comedy spit take. For the record, Vervain is the same thing as verbena. So if any of these late 2000s teens in the show are Bath & Body Works shoppers and their lotion of choice is coconut lime verbena, they're basically invincible. I already said that vampire blood can heal you. I need a drink of blood. I haven't read the books myself, but my impression is that they are not very similar to the TV show. Like the showrunners read the dust jacket synopses of the Vampire Diaries books, and then that was the framework for maybe as much as the first season. The broad strokes of a lot of the major characters are the same, and the basic premise is the same, but other than that, like the seasons of the show don't correspond to individual books, and the two diverge a lot. Also, from what I've heard, the books really went off the rails. Let me consult some wiki summaries. Damon has become possessed by the evil fox demon Shinichi and his twin sister Misao, who have been invading the town using mystical and evil Malak. Elena struggles to adjust back to her human form after having spent so much time in the spirit world. She later changes back to her human self, but simultaneously loses her angel power. Damon, Bonnie, Elena, and Meredith attend a party hosted by a woman named Bloodwood, who transforms into a huge owl every night. I wish that was in the show. After finding the 7 Kitsune treasures, Damon and Stefan kill Shinichi, who is trying to stop them. However, a magic tree stakes Damon, and he dies. Okay, so my point is, the books are their own thing. Across 8 seasons of Vampire Diaries, there are 4 gay characters. First up is Caroline's dad. Caroline's dad left Caroline's mom before the events of the series because he's gay, and that's mainly used as a punchline, like, haha, she couldn't keep her man, he left her for a man. That's so embarrassing.
Is it a boy thing?
Mom, I want to talk boys. I'll call Dad. At least he's successfully dating one.
He does finally show his face in season 3 as an evil vampire hunter who tortures his own daughter for being a vampire in, I'm not kidding, an apparent allegory for gay conversion therapy.
Daddy, you can't change who I am.
Yes, I can.
No.
You remember this feeling?
Oh, no.
It's not subtle.
I want you to know, when Carol Lockwood called and told me about you, I sat down and cried.
Dad, I'm okay. I've learned to adapt. I don't need to be fixed. But I can't be fixed.
That's definitely what they were trying to do, but also why would they try to do that? Her cop mom and jock boyfriend have to save her from her evil gay dad. And when Caroline's dad dies, it's because he gets halfway turned into a vampire and refuses to drink blood to complete the transition. So if we're still tracking the metaphor in this whole story arc, Caroline is figuratively gay, and Caroline's gay dad is figuratively homophobic, and Caroline's dad is dying of an illness that only temporarily acting gay can cure. Doctor walks in and says, "I'm sorry, it's terminal unless you kiss one man one time."
My strength is all in my beliefs. Becoming a vampire is wrong.
And he's like, "I can't. I'm too straight." And then he dies. Oh, also when he's dying, Caroline is like, "Do you want me to call your boyfriend, who has only ever existed off screen and whom you have supposedly been living with?
Do you want me to call Steven?"
No, we haven't spoken in a while.
And he's like, "No. Who cares?" Season 5 gives us our next gay character, Luke, a gay witch. We know he's gay because he says, "I'm gay."
I was about to take my shirt off.
Relax. I'm gay and your brother.
So most of my VPD binge watching back in the day happened on the CW's on-demand programming, which runs ads. And I don't know why this is, but the CW's on-demand programming tended to just run the same handful of ads again and again on everything. And for some reason, the one ad that played more than anything else was for the season 1 DVD box set of China Beach.
The series that brought women to the front line and dared to show the other side of war.
He gave him a home before he died so far away from it.
This played so many times we could literally recite it from memory. Like, hey, you know what tweens watching a sexy vampire show want to buy? A DVD box set of a show from 1988 about the Vietnam War.
China Beach.
I didn't think you'd let me walk away from this.
The juxtaposition is just so good.
Order in the next 10 minutes, and we'll take $10 off.
Anybody care for a swim?
That's right. You'll get the complete first season.
The trailer just does such a bad job of making the show look appealing to anyone that's not already familiar with it. Like, what do they think their demographic is here?
Don't pull the dagger out.
Order now, and we'll ship your complete first season for free. That's a savings of almost $7.
I know what they want and I give it to them.
This is my favorite line in the ad. It's just so grave. Through the mirror of my mind. The series that brought women to the front line.
Ivy Jones, straight to it now!
And dared to show the other side of war. I gave him a home before he died so far away from it. Hits the beach with the most anticipated DVD release in 25 years. It also gets honorable mention because they have Caroline sing Eternal Flame in an episode with a B-plot about a teenage witch tragically burning to death. The two scenes are supposed to be separated by an ad break, but if you're watching without ads, you get this. And of course, if you're watching with ads, you get this.
The series that brought women to the front line.
He goes from indiscriminately killing supporting characters to making soulful pencil drawings of his favorite horse. I can appreciate his drama as a character. He's just so much. All the time.
Don't make me do this to you again, Elijah! Go on, kill her. Come on, old man. Kill her. Kill her! I can't be killed! I have nothing to fear from any of you.
He's always on, that Klaus. My favorite of all of them, and maybe my favorite character on the show, is Elijah, who's like a vampire's vampire. Like what Captain Barbossa is doing for Pirates of the Caribbean, Elijah is doing for the Vampire Diaries. Like, now that's a genre vampire. I mean, look at his entrance to the show.
The series that brought women.
Part of the reason this guy is so fun is you have all these vampires so far who look and act like teenagers, or at least TV teenagers. And then this weirdo shows up. Yeah, it turns out every vampire has an actual switch in their brain that they can flip to good or evil.
I'm not gonna let you do this. That's not your choice to make.
Yep, here's your problem. Someone set this thing to evil.
They add this idea that you have what's called an emotional anchor, and that is the one or maybe two people who are capable of bringing you back. So we have this stupid episode where Caroline's humanity is off, but evil Caroline wants to stay that way. So she negotiates this weird humanity off chain where she's like, okay, Stefan can turn my humanity back on, so I need to blackmail Stefan to get him to turn his humanity off and keep Elena away because she could turn Stefan good, who could in turn turn me good, and I don't want that.
Stefan wants to save Sarah's life. All he has to do is shut his humanity off.
The series that brought women to the front line.
Damon's last evil switch in season 8 is the funniest because of how over it everyone is.
First, take your pick, because I'm gonna bury every one of you.
He's running around threatening everybody like, I'm a very bad boy. I'm really evil this time.
Damon, just go.
Everybody's just like, ugh, cut it out, Damon. Here are all the drawbacks to being a vampire that I could think of. You'll notice I fit them on 2 post-its. You have to drink blood. Fortunately, the show establishes pretty early on that blood tastes yummy to vampires, so it's not gross, and also they can do this without having to kill people. Everyone you know will age and die without you, so yeah, that would be pretty lonely. Except in this show, loads of them are vampires. Best friend vampires, boyfriend vampires, a whole vampire found family. And any human family members tend to be killed off pretty early on. So that's not a factor anymore either. Can't go out in the sun. I don't do that anyway. Also, witches make rings, so you can go out in the sun. Can't stay in one place for too long, or people will notice that you're not aging. All the vampires in this show are super wealthy, so having to move frequently is not a problem. They can just travel the world if they want to. And even if you weren't a wealthy vampire, you could just compel people, so you're pretty well set for room and board. Evil vampires are constantly showing up to kill you. I debated whether to include this on the list because it seems like it's only a factor if you're a vampire who's also the star of a TV show. It's got to be easier to lie low and go off the grid than these people make it look, especially when you have mind control. So all I can say to these TV vampires is like, be better. And maybe if you settle down somewhere as you start making friends, just start turning so many people into vampires that you effectively have an army living in town. Is that evil advice? Am I the evil vampire? I might be. But it's still effective advice. There are things you can't do as a teenager, and if you're 17 forever, that will be annoying. Fortunately, none of the 17-year-olds in this show actually look 17, so I'm just gonna cross that one off. They will be able to rent cars and drink in bars to their heart's content. And the last one, can't lead a normal life. What even is a normal life? Because it seems very relative. As this list has established, there's not actually a lot you can't do as a vampire, so it's not a big deal. So I don't really see a lot of drawbacks here. But even so, I get when Elena is mad when, say, Damon feeds her his blood forcibly in case she dies because he wants her to become a vampire if it comes to that. Anyway, shout out to this conversation, which is extremely out of line.
You will never have his children, Elena, and you are too maternal to not have children.
Can you imagine anyone saying this to you? Ironically, Caroline is a vampire and is later impregnated by witch magic, so...
Ridiculously long story short, they're Rick and Joe's twin babies, magically transported into my readily available womb by the Gemini Coven.
Remember, this show even has a magical ring where if you die wearing it, you come back to life. That ring pulls a lot of weight when we still have human cast members. Oh wait, did I say a magical ring? I meant 2 magical rings. They are identical and both have this power. Oh, also the ring has all these loopholes, like if you are supernatural, it won't resurrect you, and if you're a human, it will only resurrect you if you are killed by a supernatural creature, which also includes mundane ways to die, like blunt force trauma, as long as it's being inflicted by a supernatural creature. So it won't work if you're hit by a bus, but it will work if a vampire is driving the bus. Now that I've told you about the 3 different switches that the writers of Vampire Diaries employ, I would like to tell you a brief history of Alaric Saltzman. Alaric is a vampire hunter with a magic ring, so he dies many times and is brought back to life. So many times that magic causes him to become evil. Then he is turned into a vampire, but not just any vampire, an enhanced original vampire, which is like an original vampire but stronger. Then he dies, still evil, but comes back as a non-evil ghost to watch over the characters.
Oh my god, you're a ghost.
A couple seasons later, Bonnie uses a spell to bring him back to life. But by life, I mean he's still an enhanced original vampire, but he's himself again, so he's good. Then he crosses a magical boundary, which removes the vampire magic from his system, but also reverts him back to dying of the wound that killed him in the first place. He dies. But then he's resuscitated, this time medically, by his girlfriend who is a nurse. This means he's alive again, but no longer a vampire. But after all this, what are you supposed to do for your final season? Like, where can you go from here to raise the stakes any further? Well, I left this out of the villains section because I wanted it to be a surprise. The season 8 villain is the devil.
You want to save your brother? All you have to do is kill the devil.
Arcadius is this ancient psychic who's a super nice guy until his village turns on him because he keeps trying to counsel them about their impure thoughts.
The thing you imagine, brother, it is impure.
For the record, he's burned at the stake by the people of his village, so the Vampire Diaries wiki says he was killed by the village people. Those darn village people. First they killed Caroline's dad, and now this. Wes Maxfield. Yeah, that's right, Wes Maxfield, a name that is somehow less plausible than Alaric Saltzman. He's the season 5 villain. He's like this evil scientist that experiments on vampires. A late season concept if ever I've heard one. They even retroactively wrote this plotline where Damon was experimented on at this lab in the 50s and had amnesia about it. I wish I could have amnesia about this whole season of the show. I like that we're supposed to believe this as a freshman college dorm.
Hey! Who are you?
Oh, I'm Megan, your roommate.
Man, a 3rd roommate in our luxurious attic loft? How will we make enough room around the roaring fire? There's this old vampire named Michael, who, in my opinion, gave us the best death scene in the show. Truly held nothing back. There's this item I picked up, which I thought was an African mask, but apparently was a large statue, and you're supposed to lay it across this trap door like a bridge and walk across it. Yeah, I could have played this game for 1,000 years and not gotten that. Elena defeats Mikhail, and it's kind of like impossible to even tell what's going on. I guess Mikhail has an amazing death in every adaptation, but I do have to highlight the end cutscene and the credits, which are amazing.
I want to be with you, always.
This weird moment in the finale where Stefan is talking about Damon's good side, and he specifically cites his involvement in the Civil War as one of his positive attributes.
The older brother I looked up to. The son who enlisted in the Civil War to please his father.
Yeah, man, in the Confederate Army. Maybe leave that one out of the reference letter. It shows us that she's a good person, by which I mean that when vampires want to kill people, she's like, no, don't kill people. That's wrong. We're shown that she's loyal, by which I mean that when vampires want to kill her friends, she says, no, don't kill my friends. Take me instead. The moral of this story is really just take naps, kill the devil, get a boyfriend. Words to live by, I guess. The show shoves Bonnie all the way off the table as a love interest, as though it's taboo to even consider it in a show where everyone dates everyone. Almost the entirety of season 7 is intense Damon and Bonnie moments, but they have to cushion every single one by having them reiterate that they're best friends.
Because you, Bonnie Bennett, are an amazing woman and my best friend.
You're my best friend.
I'm your best friend.
You're right, Bonnie. You are my best friend.
Or they can say, I love you, but then they have to add some friend-zoning comment like, I love you like Elena did, and we both miss Elena a whole lot.
You're gonna make me face a future without Elena. And you're gonna help make me the best man I can possibly be. Same way she did.
I admire you. I believe in you. And I love you. The same way Elena loved you.
Bonnie and Damon are even a thing in the books. At least I think they are. The writing style of the fan wiki is, it's too beautiful to understand. Bonnie is Damon's weak spot, and Damon has a lot of indescribable inner tenderness for her. Their connection and relationship is known as one of the most intriguing, unusual, and interesting dynamics of the entire series, according to many readers. And their connection is an intriguing combination of platonic, romantic, and sexual in nature, crossing a fine line between genuinely innocent or pure and intensely, dangerously passionate and erotic. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on there.
I'm determined to keep my promise to Enzo. I'm gonna live this life to the fullest.
Oh, come on. They put the Africa brochure on top. A brochure for the whole continent of Africa. But the epilogue shows her getting a letter from Klaus in the mail. It basically says our relationship may resume in the spin-off series The Originals, airing only on the CW, along with a check for $3 million. So I'd say she made out significantly better than Bonnie. Where are they now? Not the actors. I think for them the answer is mostly minding their own business, except for Alaric, who apparently spends all his time demanding that people on Twitter come to his house so he can fight them with his guns. His friends should check in on him. But like by calling him, don't show up at his house unannounced. I've heard he has guns. Anyway, I had been doing my series rewatch on Netflix, but then when I got to the finale, I realized it would be more fun if, instead of watching it normally, I just watched it through reaction videos of the finale on YouTube.
No! No! Stefan's dead!
What?
Give him my blood.
Oh my god, he's dead!
You what? Without the cure, I'd start to age. I'd be dead soon enough.
Honestly, this is way better. I wish I could have watched the whole series like this because they cut out all the unexciting parts that they're not reacting to. Also, the energy these people have is incredible. Special mention to this girl who cried basically the entire time. She even chanted along with Bonnie and her ancestors. She got 1 million views on this and she deserved every single one of them. I was impressed by just how many actors they got to come back as spirits, even if they were killed off as early as season 1. Elena's parents come back and they've been dead the whole series. Vicky comes back, Aunt Jenna comes back. Ew, who invited Uncle John? Bonnie's grandma comes back, Caroline's mom comes back, Enzo comes back. I wonder if we're gonna see... No. No, they can't afford him. He's way too famous now. They did it! They brought the spooky crow back! They even have an epilogue about how Elena and Damon grow old together, and then show us them going to the afterlife and being reunited with their loved ones in heaven. It's the fact that Ben Platt insists on doing these horrifically literal hand gestures to go along with every word that he sings. I've compiled some of my favorites, all from a single song.
We pick a spot and
shoot the breeze.
Pick a spot and shoot the breeze.
Telling jokes no one understands.
Telling jokes no one understands.
Let the world pass by.
Let the world pass by.
'Cause the sun shines bright.
'Cause the sun shines bright.
Wondering how the world might look from up so high.
And my personal favorite, how the world might look from up so high. He acted every word of that one. How will they know what I mean by up high if I don't show them? Here is Zoe singing passionately. She's crying and screaming and everything. Here is Alana singing passionately. Here is Evan's mom singing passionately. And here is Evan singing passionately. I mean, there's emotion, and then there's this. It looks like his face is trying to escape his head. I think at best, Zoe in this scene is thinking like, well, he's dead, so I guess we'll never have to unpack this. Did anyone who wrote this song have siblings? How did they think this would be cute? Fourth, he's so intense and his eyes are really bugging out and he keeps lurching closer to her face. I just have to highlight this shot because I find it viscerally terrifying. It makes my animal brain start shaking in fear, trying to flee from the presence of a predator. But I really do want to know the content of this speech, mainly so I can understand this girl's reaction.
There's a place where we don't have to feel unknown. Oh my god.
I can't think of any memorial speech for a dead child that would make me go, oh my god. If we raise $100,000 and open an old orchard, we will change the world. But if we raise only $80,000, all these kids will immediately kill themselves. Alana, if that's the case, you really should have gone with a flexible funding campaign. And then at least only a proportional fraction of teens would be suicidal. Zoe sings the line, "When the villains fall, the kingdoms never weep," which is just bad writing. It's not bad editing, I just wanted to point it out. And then we get to the end of the song, my favorite shot. All three family members must sing the final note, and the editor has no idea what to do. So they make the wild choice to just cut to this sitcom-looking exterior shot of the house, and you hear them all singing inside. It's very Hannah Montana.
Yeah.